240 active-duty United States Army soldiers have been deployed to a wildfire in Washington state. They are from the 1st Battalion, 23rd Infantry Regiment, 7th Infantry Division, out of Joint Base Lewis-McChord. They have been sent to the Modrite Fire. A separate incident management organization has been assigned to the military contingent, not the National Guard, regular Army. The distinction matters. The National Guard gets called up for domestic emergencies routinely. Active duty soldiers being assigned to a wildfire means the civilian and Guard resources available for that fire were already committed elsewhere. 60 miles north, on the other side of the border, more than 20,000 people have left their homes. British Columbia has declared a province-wide state of emergency. 104 fires are burning there. This is one valley. It is called the Okanagan in Canada and the Okanogan in Washington. Same name, different spelling, the same ground on both sides of the border. On the American side of that valley, the Sinla-Hecken Fire is burning. 147,715 acres, 42% contained. Today, its fire behavior was upgraded to extreme. It is the only fire in the entire Northwest carrying that classification. On the Canadian side, the Bald Range Fire is burning. It started Friday at 5:30 in the evening. Within 3 hours, it had covered 50 square kilometers. The entire district of Summerland, 12,000 people, was ordered out just after midnight on Saturday. Another 8,000 in and around Peachland. 10,000 homes are under evacuation order. Another 3,200 are under alert. On Sunday, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police said an 80-year-old woman died while trying to escape the fire. The valley runs roughly north to south. Okanagan Lake sits in the Canadian half. The Okanogan River flows south into Washington. Fire crews on one side can see the smoke column from the other. This is not one fire crossing a border. It is two fires in the same terrain, under the same weather. They draw from a shared pool of aircraft and crews that both countries lend to each other every season. The number of uncontained large fires in the United States has passed 100 for the first time this season. 104. Yesterday, it was 98. 142 new fires started across the country in 24 hours. 12 of them are classified as large. Yesterday, that number was 9. This is the second straight day of increase. 3 large fires were contained. The country remains at preparedness level 5, the highest on the scale. It has held there since the 18th of July. 154 incidents are under management, covering 3,823,000 acres. 29,939 people are assigned. And here is what is happening to those people. 409 were pulled out of the Northwest in the last 24 hours. Yesterday, 308 were pulled out. They are being moved to the Rocky Mountain region, which gained 351, and to the south, which gained 173. Resources are leaving Oregon and Washington. At the same time, the national count of uncontained fires is going up. That is not a mistake by anyone. It is what happens when a country has more fires than crews. Someone has to decide which fires get people and which fires wait. Right now, the Northwest still holds 17,711 of the nation's firefighters. That is more than half of everyone working a fire in America today. 53 large incidents there, covering 2,768,000 acres. The Little Giant Fire in Washington lost 21 buildings in a single day. Yesterday, the structures column read 5. Today, it reads 26. That is the largest structure loss anywhere in the country in the last 24 hours. 116,956 acres. Containment is 2%. 2% on a fire covering 117,000 acres. That figure has not moved in days. Projected full containment is the 1st of October. That date is worth sitting with. It means the agency managing that fire does not expect to have a line around it for another 7 weeks. The Modrite Fire, where the Army is going, is at 57,000 acres and 61%. 88 structures have already been lost there. The Kaiser Canyon Fire is at 138,000 acres and 63%. 47 structures lost, costs at $42 million. The Ptarmigan Fire is at 23,000 acres and 8%. Its projected containment date is the 1st of November. The Border 2 Fire is at 11,600 acres with zero containment. It has been at zero since it started, and it has not moved once. The Sinlahecan Fire, which sits directly across the valley from Canada, added 6,300 acres in a day. It is now at 147,715 acres, 42% contained. Its projected containment date was pushed back a day, from the 21st of August to the 22nd. Spokane, meanwhile, is being shut down. Old Trails is at 73%, up from 53 yesterday. Autumn Lane is at 89, up from 73. Fairview is at 97, up from 53. That is a jump of 44 points in a single day. 300 people were pulled off the 3 Spokane fires in 24 hours. Fire behavior on Fairview has been downgraded to minimal. Across the 3 fires, 774 structures were destroyed. Local officials have said the final figure could reach 1,100 once assessors finish walking the neighborhoods. The man charged with setting the Old Trails fire has told investigators something else. He said he set roughly 25 fires across Spokane County since July of last year. He faces 5 counts of first-degree arson. A judge ordered a competency evaluation last week, and until that is complete, the case against him is on hold. The Bald Range Fire is now estimated at 15,590 hectares. That is roughly 38,500 acres. It is listed as out of control. 5 separate evacuation orders have been issued by 5 different authorities. The Regional District of Okanagan-Similkameen, the Regional District of Central Okanagan, the Penticton Indian Band, the District of Summerland. The District of Peachland. The Penticton Indian Band has issued alerts for 9 of its areas. Highway 97 is closed between Penticton and Peachland. There is no estimate for when it reopens. The detour runs along a Forest Service road and Highway 33. It adds between 107 and 121 kilometers. Fire behavior reached rank 4 on Sunday evening. In the Canadian system, rank 4 means a highly vigorous surface fire. 99 wildland firefighters are on scene, along with 120 structure protection personnel, 24 pieces of heavy equipment, and 8 helicopters. The Wildfire Service is working alongside the Penticton Indian Band and its equipment crews. More than 40 Royal Canadian Mounted Police officers were dispatched, not only from Summerland and Penticton, but from across the entire South Okanagan and Southeast District. Some came from as far away as Langley and Surrey, near Vancouver. Today, 100 firefighters from Mexico joined the effort. BC Hydro, Okanagan Power, and Fortis BC are on site responding to downed power lines. Search and rescue crews are working in Summerland, supporting people who were not able to leave safely on their own. There is one thing worth clearing up because it spread widely. Social media reports claimed the town of Summerland had been destroyed. It has not. The district's chief administrative officer, Graham Statt, went into downtown Summerland himself and said the district is still intact. Officials say it will be days to weeks before evacuees can return. Several small businesses in Summerland have been affected. Power was restored to parts of the district over the weekend, but crews from 3 separate utilities are still working downed lines. And the Royal Canadian Mounted Police have opened a criminal investigation into how the Bald Range fire started. The cause has not been announced. For scale on what British Columbia is dealing with, 104 fires are burning across the province right now, and dozens of them are classified as out of control. The fire grew between 500 meters and 2 kilometers during the day, pushed by northwest winds. Crews worked through the night in the Garnet drainage and near the Summerland golf course. Fire remained active in the Trout Creek area, with spotting observed toward Mount Conkle. 63 personnel stayed on site through Monday night for 24-hour coverage. The federal government approved British Columbia's request for assistance. Canada's Minister of Emergency Management, Eleanor Olszewski, said she had authorized shelter and accommodation support for those forced to flee. There is one detail from Saturday night worth holding on to. When the order came for Summerland, the wildfire service put helicopters in the air to evacuate residents who could not get out by road. A helicopter with night vision was assigned and used as visibility allowed. The Wright's Spring Fire in Oregon added almost 13,000 acres in 24 hours, 46,769 acres. Containment is 0. That is the 4th consecutive day at 0. It is the largest daily growth anywhere in the Northwest. It is burning 2 miles from the community of Sprague River. 101 more people were added to it in a day, bringing the total to 656. Projected full containment is the 1st of November. The Hagen Fire in Umatilla County is at 49,600 acres and 11%. It added 3,100 in a day. Numerous homes are threatened and evacuations are in effect. FEMA has authorized federal funds for suppression costs on both of those fires. And a second fire has appeared on Mount Hood. It is called the Austin Fire. It is burning 25 miles southeast of Estacada in the Mount Hood National Forest. 710 acres, 0 containment, extreme fire behavior. Evacuations are already in effect. It started near the Grasshopper Fire, which has been burning in the same forest since July. 2 fires in one national forest, 25 miles from a town, in the middle of the worst fire season Oregon has recorded. The Grasshopper Fire already has 44 members of the Oregon Air National Guard assigned to it. 12 new large fires started in 24 hours, and only one of them is in the Northwest. The rest are scattered across the country, and the geography tells its own story. The Fred Mountain Fire in Nevada, 9 miles from Lemon Valley, which is a suburb of Reno. 3,482 acres, 0 containment, evacuations in effect, numerous homes threatened. One team is now managing it together with the Bug Fire burning nearby. The Timber Fire in California, 4 miles from Big Sur. 1,700 acres, 5% contained, evacuations in effect. The Cold Springs Fire in Wyoming, 7 miles from Douglas. 1,000 acres, 0 containment, extreme fire behavior. The Bear Butte Fire in South Dakota, 2 miles from Sturgis. 457 acres, and 5 new large fires in the south. 3 in Texas, 1 in Oklahoma, 1 in Arkansas. The southern area reported 58 new fires in 24 hours. That is worth watching. For most of this season, the south has been quiet while the west burned. 58 new starts in a day, plus 5 that grew large enough to be named, suggests that is changing. The southern area now has 28 active incidents. That is more than any region except the Northwest. 2 of those 12 new fires are worth a second look for a specific reason. Fred Mountain in Nevada is 9 miles from a Reno suburb. Bear Butte in South Dakota is 2 miles from Sturgis. Cold Springs in Wyoming is 7 miles from Douglas. None of them is large. All 3 are close to where people live. In today's national outlook, the Northwest is not listed as a risk area at all. Dry and windy conditions with locally elevated risk are holding across northeastern California, southern Idaho, and Wyoming. Mixed dry and wet thunderstorms are moving from the eastern Sierra to the western slope of the Rockies. Further east, the storms carry more moisture. In California, temperatures are above normal, but the extreme heat wave is slowly ending. There is a new area of concern, and it is the central and southern plains. Southerly winds gusting around 30 miles an hour with dry conditions. Temperatures between 105 and 110 degrees from Nebraska to North Texas. Across the southeast, temperatures are rising above normal, with significant drying along the Gulf Coast and Florida. For eastern Washington specifically, the National Weather Service office in Spokane issued a statement on Sunday that runs through Tuesday. Afternoon and evening Cascade Gap winds will lead to elevated fire weather conditions Sunday through Tuesday. Fires will quickly spread under the forecasted conditions. Cascade Gap winds are winds that funnel and accelerate through the passes in the Cascade Range, then push into eastern Washington with increased speed. They can drive fire into unburned ground with very little warning. On the Canadian side, westerly downslope winds up to 25 kilometers an hour were forecast overnight on the Bald Range fire. Crews have gone to 24-hour coverage. Air quality alerts are in effect across central and eastern Washington and northern Idaho. Smoke is expected through the week. Smoke does not stop at a border either. What burns in the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia drifts south into Washington within a day, and what burns in Washington drifts north. Both air quality agencies have been naming the other countries' fires in their own advisories all week. If you are under a level 3 go now order, leave immediately. Do not wait. Do not go back for belongings. If you are under level 2, be set. Pack your bag now. Load the car and be ready to leave within minutes. If you are under level 1, be ready. Know your evacuation route and monitor alerts. Do not guess whether your address is in an evacuation zone. Every county has an address lookup. Zone boundaries have shifted more than once this week for anyone in British Columbia. Reception centers are the Penticton Trade and Convention Center at 273 Power Street and the West Bank Lions Community Hall in West Kelowna. Highway 97 is closed between Penticton and Peachland. On air quality, keep windows and doors closed. Run air conditioning on recirculate. Wear a respirator if you have to go outside. A cloth mask does nothing against wildfire smoke. Children, elderly residents, and anyone with heart or lung conditions should stay indoors while advisories are in effect. Do not drive around road closure barriers. Fire behavior changes within minutes. No campfires, no fireworks, no outdoor burning of any kind in affected areas. Do not park on dry grass. Keep spark arresters on all equipment. Do not drag chains or metal across dry ground. One more thing, and it comes from Summerland. Search and rescue crews had to go in for people who could not get out on their own. If you have a neighbor who is elderly or who does not drive or who would need help moving animals, work that out now. Not when the order comes. If these daily updates are useful to you, subscribing helps more people find them. 100 firefighters arrived from Mexico today to work a Canadian fire. 15 managers and 59 specialists from Australia and New Zealand are working American ones. 240 American soldiers were sent to a fire in their own country because there was nobody else to send. That is what this season looks like in the second week of August. Thank you to the crews on the line tonight on both sides of the border. We will be back tomorrow with the new numbers.